Everybody follows someone. Whether we realise it or not, what or who we follow determines the values we hold, the behaviours we replicate, and the people we become. Yet few of us truly spend time asking the questions that matter, of the things that matter most to us. Hi, I'm Becky Rowe. I'm a graduate from Moorlands College and I'm the Kids Assistant at Coastline Vineyard Church and a primary school chaplain at the Bridge Youth Project. In this 6-week series, we ask the hard questions of a faith that asks us to follow, yet often appears in culture as irrelevant, outdated, riddled with errors, and full of mythology. Welcome to Follow, a series asking the questions that matter, of the things that matter the most. Why do people even need to be fixed? Camper van. Everyone wants one. Surfer vibes, all about the interior deck. People spend an absolute fortune doing them up. Add a pop-top camping roof for 6k, a barbecue pod for 2k. You can mod your way to happiness. But as good as it looks, if the engine's broken, you are only going to be able to camp in one place. It's no longer doing what it was designed to do. It was made for more. One of the most striking things we find on the first page of God's relationship with human beings is how everything fits so perfectly. Genesis chapter 1 leads with, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It then outlines how everything he fashions is not only perfectly made, but perfectly placed, in relationship with everything around it. Think about how the oxygen cycle and carbon cycle depend on one another for life to exist. Even the order of what God decides to do in each day complements each other. The first 3 days, we find God creating space. Space between light and dark, space between the waters above and the waters below, and space between sea and shore. In the following 3 days, he creates things to fill those spaces in the same order. In the light and dark, he fills it with the sun, moon, and stars. In the waters above and below, he creates birds for the sky and fish for the sea. And in the spaces he creates on land, he fills it with vegetation and animals. There's a poetic beauty in the symmetry. When Einstein developed the theory of relativity, he had noticed a much deeper symmetry embedded in physics, and many of the laws and mathematical equations have a beauty to them. The pursuit of truth, then, is to seek out which is truly beautiful, where a harmony and peace exist. Of all the created order, humans are distinct. If we are searching for meaning, God's declaration in Genesis 1, verse 26 to 27 is unparalleled. "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. You are special not because humans are basically good, or because you've told yourself to believe it, or even that others say you are. There's no firm basis or authority for that belief. You are special because you have something of a divine image embedded in your DNA. Many humanist or atheist scientists are reluctant to talk about how unique Homo sapiens are from other species, whether it's the incredible capacity for art or the ability to acquire knowledge and communicate that with others. It is humans alone who can steward the planet. It is humanity that can farm, domesticate animals, create a range of cultures. That creativity is intentional, it's inbuilt. We are created in God's likeness. Ever had someone say, "You are just like your mum," or "You are just like your dad"? That's not always a compliment. Einstein himself said, "The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives." It's ironic that he would use an image so commonly found in Christianity. As children of God, we reflect those attributes. The ability to love, to build relationship, to create, to shape. Yet there is a randomness and unpredictable side to creation, and therefore observable through scientific method. And it's not that surprising that we see that unpredictability in humanity. Built into the order, the harmonious and codependent relationships, was free will. The ability to love must come with the ability to choose to withhold that love. Genesis 2 captures humanity being given meaning through taking care of the world, identifying and classifying animals, and having responsibility. It's there that a key boundary is put in place regarding the tree of knowledge and of good and evil. Adam had creative freedom, but also limitations. Because while we're made in the likeness of God, we are not gods. Who knows how long Adam existed in the idyllic state? But the episode in chapter 3 obliterates the beauty and harmony. It's the one when humans first tried to play God, and we've done it ever since. Genesis 3 verse 6 says that when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and was desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. That's it right there. What steals our humanity? What takes us away from God? That breaks hearts and relationships and causes reject and misery? Desire. Prove me wrong. An animal has no divine capacity to say no to what it wants. We do. We can deliberately act self-sacrificially. We can choose to fast from something that has a hold over us. We can choose not to look at what people in our year are looking at. We can weigh up the long-term pain of choices in front of us and decide to live better. Desire, wrong choices, brokenness. It's a cycle started in Genesis that is on repeat throughout the Bible and through society today. Just look at our fallen heroes. Look at human nature, the conflicts around the world right now. We're not evolving and maturing as species. We remain as self-centered as ever and invent new ways of harming others. Technology isn't bringing us together. We're using it collectively to be divisive and fragmented, pushing us away from each other into tribes that are hostile to other tribes. C.S. Lewis explained that electrons and molecules behave a certain way, and certain results follow. But people behave in a certain way, and that is not the whole story. For all the time, you know that they ought to behave differently. James 1 verse 14 captures this well. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death. Death seems pretty wild, but nothing good comes from unhealthy desire. The death here isn't physical, but spiritual. The prolific evangelist and writer of much of the New Testament, Paul, asked in Romans 8, "Who will free me from this body of death?" He was referring to how desire seems to rule over our lives. His response? Thank God, the answer is Jesus Christ our Lord. Desire is interrupted by Jesus and all who come from him, for his offer of rest for our souls and life in abundance. Someone once said that God is most glorified when we are most satisfied in him. God created you to enjoy beauty and to find that in everything around us and ultimately in his character and presence. Just wanting to be happy will never be enough. Question: what would the perfect version of you look like? What of the world's problems stem from how people like you and me behave? What would it look like in real terms for you not to pursue things you know are not God's best for you?